Now, CoastTV News.
Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf. Our election team has all the results, upsets, and ugliness this Delaware primary night. Charlie Sakaitis is covering governor candidate Matt Meyer. Christina DeRobertis with Meyer's opponent, Bethany Hall Long. Matt Pensick in Rehoboth Beach in the three-way primary for retiring former Speaker of the House Pete Schwarzkopf seat. Strap in. It's a primary night like no other.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf. Welcome to our news at 11. Matt Meyer is likely the next governor of Delaware. Here are the numbers specifically. Meyer winning 47% of the vote to Bethany Hall Long's 36%. This was one of the ugliest races that we have ever seen. Meyer wins it, and Charlie Sakaitis is with him live exclusively right now.
Maddie, things have obviously quieted down here at the watch party for Matt Meyer, but he was kind enough to stick with us a little bit for a quick exclusive interview. And Matt, I wanted to ask you, this was a contentious race. So now that you're through that point, you've made it past that, how do you bring everybody together?
Look, this race has always been about one thing, and that's the future of our state, every community of our state. Our schools are struggling. There are coastal communities that are flooding. Sea levels are rising. Open space is dwindling. Housing is more expensive than ever before. We need leadership to make sure we're delivering to people in every community across this state, and particularly in the coastal areas. Governor Meyer is going to do that.
Now, watching your speech up there, your victory speech, you mentioned going against the establishment. How hard was that to overcome and to be the person that comes out on top today?
A lot of our opponents got a lot of endorsements. We got endorsements today from about 40,000 Delawareans who said they want our leadership. That's really the only thing that matters. It's challenging when a system of insiders is working for themselves. They invest a lot of money, saying all kind of crazy stuff. But we had a team. We had a vision. We listened to each other. We expanded rapidly into Sussex County. We heard the needs of the people of Sussex County and we're eager to become the governor and deliver on those needs.
Get a good shot of the crowd over here. And you mentioned endorsements, again, a contentious race. Would getting the endorsement or seeking it from Bethany Hall Long, would that be something that matters to you now?
Yeah, I'll wake up tomorrow and figure those things out. I think the one thing that matters to me is getting endorsements from individuals and families in communities across the state. That's always how I've run every campaign. I haven't gone out sort of trying to get an endorsement from this figure or another. I, of course, will welcome the support of the lieutenant governor, but mainly we're laser focused on creating a vision, a new vision for the state to move things forward in a way that truly delivers on the issues that Delawareans are seeing every day in communities across this state.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on tonight's big win with Matt Meyer, the Democratic nominee for governor here in the state of Delaware. I'm Charlie Sakaitis, live in Wilmington for CoastTV News.
All right, Charlie, thank you. Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long conceded around 9:30. A disappointing end to an ugly campaign. CoastTV News anchor Christina DeRobertis joins us live now from Newark. Christina, the party ended early there.
Yeah, well, Maddie, people cleared out of here pretty quickly after about 10 o'clock. But Hall Long was surprisingly upbeat while addressing supporters here at her watch party. It was definitely a tense atmosphere all night. Her campaign team just constantly refreshing those election results, and Matt Meyer had a clear lead from the very beginning, but Hall Long did not give up hope until conceding at about 9:30. And in her speech, she again mentioned the negative nature of this campaign, citing false attacks against her and her family, and she emphasized her focus on policy. But despite the outcome, Hall Long says she still has plenty of work to do as lieutenant governor until her term is up in January.
We still have work to do. I am lieutenant governor for several more months, and we have a lot to continue to complete and to make sure that all Delawareans have the best place to live, work, and raise a family. I will say, This was a very negative campaign. My family came under false attacks, and my family came under a lot of negativity that was not correct nor accurate.
And Hall Long went on to say there that the one thing she wants the General Assembly to do is to change campaign finance laws. Live in Newark, I'm Christina DeRobertis, Coast TV News.
Christina, thank you. Considering Delaware is a heavily Democratic state, it's likely that tonight's winner, Matt Meyer, will be Delaware's next governor. But on the Republican side, House Minority Leader Mike Ramone wins handily with over 72% of the vote. Against him were Bridgeville businessman Bobby Williamson and former police officer Jerry Price. We caught up with Mike Ramone tonight, and he had scathing criticism for his Democratic competitors.
People who go to that extreme of focusing on someone else's destruction rather than their enhancement of their value and their goals, I'll never sell my soul to win a political position. I think the damage done is not forgivable by the other side. Doesn't matter who. I think there was a lot of pain delivered. A lot of people suffered outside of just two candidates.
And it's not just the governor's race that is drawing attention. There is arguably the one state house primary race that has the most intrigue. District 14, and it became an open seat when current District 14 Representative Pete Schwarzkopf announced last year he would not seek re-election. Claire Snyder Hall beat and battled former state auditor Kathy McGinnis and fellow opponent Marty Rendon handily, as you can see here. And for the first time in 22 years, there will be a new representative in Delaware's 14th district, and it's a woman who has been very outspoken about the political establishment in the state. Coast TV's Matt Pensick is live in Rehoboth Beach. Matt, it was a big night for Claire Snyder Hall.
Maddie, Claire Snyder Hall, she's been a longtime critic of the man she is attempting to replace, Pete Schwarzkopf, who is retiring in this district. She is an unapologetic progressive, and with her convincing win tonight, she's looking to take the next step in bringing those set of beliefs to Legislative Hall.
We're in a period of generational change, and so I'm happy to be part of that change. And the district has really changed over the years, and it's become much more democratic. And so I'm excited to be hopefully the new leader of that if I, get elected in November.
And in November, she will face Republican Mike Simpler. He's the president of the Rehoboth Beach Volunteer Fire Company. He did not have a primary. He is unopposed. Tonight, it is the night for Claire Snyder Hall, the Democratic primary winner for State House District 14. Live in Rehoboth Beach, I'm Matt Pensick, Coast TV News.
Matt, thank you. This next race is a nail-biter and another bitter battle this primary election. Take a look here at the Republican primary for Delaware District 36. This is a rematch from 2022 between IT professional Patrick Smith and current Representative Brian Shoup. I want you to stay with me on the screen here and look. There's no green check mark because this race is still too close to call. This is for the Milford area. Attack ads referred to Shoup, who has held that seat since 2018, as a show pony. Again, you can see 51 to 49%. Right now, we wonder if these results are paving the way for a recount. Delaware's current lone representative in Congress, Lisa Button Rochester, she's running for retiring Senator Tom Carper's seat, so her seat is open. Wilmington area State Senator Sarah McBride is the winner of that seat. McBride made history as the first openly transgender state senator elected in the country. If McBride wins this fall, she'll be the first transgender member of U.S. Congress. Her opponents were businessman Earl Cooper and union representative Elias Weir. As for McBride's opponent, John Whalen will be the Republican candidate for the congressional race. Whalen served in law enforcement in Delaware for over 20 years. He currently lives in Millsboro, beating veteran and businesswoman Danielle Hall, who ran as the Republican nominee for lieutenant governor back in 2020. Now to Milton, the Democratic primary for State District 20. Stell Parker-Selby has only been in for one term. She did win the primary tonight. She was challenged by Coast Guard veteran Brian Jenkins. Now for the person running to be Matt Meyer's number 2, the Delaware Democratic primary for lieutenant governor. State Senator Kyle Evans-Gay from Newcastle County handily beating Representative Sherry Dorsey Walker and veteran Debbie Harrington. If we can look at the results here, you see a quite easy win there for Kyle Evans-Gay at 48%. Now to another nail-biter of a race, Sussex County Council District 1, which covers western Sussex. This is an upset here. Mike Vincent was the council president of Sussex County for years. He was challenged by Christy Sheary and Matt Lloyd, an Air Force veteran. Now we are seeing breaking news here. Matt Lloyd appearing to be the victor, unseating longtime Sussex County Council President Mike Vincent for the Seaford area. In District 2, this is the Milford and Ellendale Greenwood areas. Incumbent Cynthia Green also losing. Steve McCarron, a Bridgeville volunteer firefighter and former town commissioner, unseating the one-time District 2 councilwoman there. Now, another primary that we've been watching, longtime State Senator Dave Wilson, who represents the Milford area, parts of Kent County as well. He was challenged by Bob Reed, but came out on top. One final statewide seat primary was the Delaware Insurance Commissioner. There was a Democratic primary for that. Incumbent Trinidad Navarro, the results not in quite yet, but it was indicated that he was going to be the winner there. And after days of preparation, weeks of campaigning, and a slew of polls, did you miss it? Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump held their first and perhaps only presidential debate tonight. NBC's Alice Barr has the details of what went down on the debate stage.
Kamala Harris.
Tonight, a presidential pivot point. Former President Trump and Vice President Harris shaking hands in their first ever meeting, sparring over key issues, none more pressing than the economy.
We've had a terrible economy because we have inflation like very few people have ever seen before.
The vice president pressed on her changing policy position since her 2019 run for the White House.
My values have not changed. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States.
The former president pushing back on his legal troubles and on accepting the election results.
I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me.
Former President Trump on the attack over immigration and the border.
They have, and she has, destroyed our country with policy that's insane.
Donald Trump got on the phone, called up some folks in Congress and said, kill the bill. He'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
Vice President Harris blaming Mr. Trump for restrictions on reproductive rights, questions on his shifting stance.
Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And they did exactly as he intended.
The gloves coming off tonight.
Well, I think this is so rich, coming from someone who has been prosecuted.
She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success.
In a debate that could reshape the race for the White House. In Philadelphia, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The nominees also sparred over foreign policy, with former President Trump arguing he could negotiate from a position of strength to end conflicts, particularly in Ukraine. Vice President Harris firing back that he would only end that war by allowing Russia to win. Now, this presidential race and all of the statewide races and local races that we showed you this evening, many of them very contested, negative, downright ugly. We have covered them extensively over the past few months. We will continue to do that as we approach the general election in November. So be sure to stay with us right here on Coast TV News. Coast TV News at 11. We'll be right back.
Feel the rush of adventure and the thrill of incredible savings at Gateway Subaru. Save up to $2,700 on a new 2025 Subaru Outback with financing rates as low as 1.9% for 48 months. Or save up to $2,400 off a new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek with financing rates as low as 1.9% for 48 months. And be among the first to drive the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. Stop in and reserve yours today. Gateway Subaru, just minutes from the beaches in the heart of Delmarva. Higher standards.
Coastal Comfort knows there's no place like home. It's where we can be totally comfortable being ourselves, making a mess, making improvements, making strides, making memories with those we love, totally. Big or small, at the beach or on the farm, all along the Eastern Shore. It's home, and Coastal Comfort is always here to keep you totally comfortable. Coastal Comfort, a Carrier factory authorized dealer serving Maryland and Delaware. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Well, unlike the political scene, the weather's not contested or hot, either one of those, okay? We're looking at cool conditions, particularly in the morning time. Well, we started off this morning at 53 degrees. Now, that's well below the norm for this time of the year. 51 was our starting point in Salisbury, 52 in Cambridge. Now, think about this. Our normal low is about 63. We dropped down to 53, so we were 10 degrees below par, so to speak. But we stayed away from 41. By the way, as far as the afternoon high is concerned, we rose right to about 85 degrees, about 4 degrees above the norm. By the way, while we're talking about records, 93, by the way, was the record high on this date set back then. Keep in mind that we have, with our live radar, continuing to stay clear. Now, we are the beneficiaries of high pressure that's to our north, west, south, and just about everywhere. I mean, all these H's are indicative of just how solid and entrenched we have a high pressure system that stays in control of our weather. And because we have layer upon layer of highs, so to speak, and I'm simplifying the math for you, so to speak, that's going to keep us on the positive side, all right? And so our ledger will be dripping with more sunshine and comfortable kind of weather conditions. 69 for us in Rehoboth, Indian River Inlet, as well as Bethany Beach. But as you go farther inland, we're at 61 in Red and 61 degrees right now in Georgetown. We are indeed a little bit warmer than we were just 24 hours ago. We're 7 degrees warmer than we were 24 hours ago in Salisbury, and we're 5 degrees warmer than Ocean City. Well, if you do a good deal of dog walking, keep in mind that we're looking for it to stay clear. Now, some folks have to go out in the middle of the night before they go to bed, take the dog out. I see it in my neighborhood all the time, and you have my sympathy on that, but we have the winds coming out of the north and temperatures will be in the 60s. So as we dissect what to expect for Wednesday, by lunchtime, we're going to be near 80 degrees just about everywhere and throughout the Delmarva Peninsula. And then by late night, we'll drop back into the 60s. Thursday, the story is going to be very similar, but even just a tick or two warmer. We're looking at temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80s, but I say it's going to be warmer because we'll have more in the way of moisture. You see that little wisp of white there? That's indicating the cloud cover. That's an enhancement of the moisture profile in the atmosphere. And that, in a sense, will help it feel warm because that's the dynamic that plays against our skin and how our skin evaporates and gets rid of heat, making it feel steamier in some cases. Tomorrow and Thursday, it's going to just feel a little warmer. Look for increasing moisture to culminate with a chance of cloudy skies on Friday in Assateague. And we anticipate thicker cloud cover for us going into Friday for Fenwick Island as well as Ocean City. And we anticipate it staying very warm for us in Lewis and Rehoboth Beach with more cloud cover on Friday. Finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling Extended Forecast.
Paul, thank you. New tonight, the Bureau of Ocean and Energy Management has announced a public hearing will be held in Ocean City this month to present offshore wind plans. The equipment is set to be as close as 3.5 miles off of Ocean City's shoreline. This proposed project would be in addition to tall turbines miles from our shoreline that were approved by the agency on September 4th. The town of Ocean City says this new project poses a significant threat. Most recently, Fenwick Island has decided to join the town of Ocean City in a lawsuit against the project. Coming up, an organization in Georgetown honoring those lost on 9/11 and more.
The bold, creamy smoothness of Hardee's new cold brew coffee with the made-from-scratch goodness of Hardee's famous breakfast. A delicious new way to power your morning. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
The Camry legacy is earned through decades of continuous improvement. For timeless cars and lasting memories. Right now, buy a Camry with 3.99% APR.
This is my legacy.
Toyota, let's go places.
Nearly 30 years ago, Mediacom was founded on a powerful idea: bring cutting-edge broadband to underserved communities. From coast to coast, we connected 850,000 miles of fiber. Our team broke speed barriers, delivered 1 gig speeds to every customer, has led the way in developing a 10G platform, and now with Mediacom Mobile is offering the fastest, most reliable network on the go. Mediacom, decades of dedication, decades of delivery, decades ahead.
At the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's, this is why we walk. This is why we walk. They're why we walk. And you know what? This is why we walk too. We walk in the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's because we're getting closer to beating this disease. But to get there, we need you. Join us. Hey!
The greatest meal deal for your buck? Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with your choice of 2 full-size favorites, plus fries and a drink. All for just $6.99. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Download the Coast TV News app on your Apple or Android devices. This is Coast TV News at 11.
Honoring those we've lost and appreciating those still with us. That's the goal of Remembering Patriot Day. It was an event in Georgetown. Walter Koopman is a Korean War veteran that hosts these events. Koopman says it's about more than just his experience.
These exhibits and all to allow the public to come in and see history and try to keep a legacy going, whether it be about Pearl Harbor, whether it be about Normandy, the Tuskegee Airmen.
This event is hosted annually right before 9/11. New tonight, Wicomico County Public Schools are having public information sessions on this fall about a study that analyzes elementary schools attendance. This study will soon publish a website with a feedback form, an interactive map, and project boundary study maps and stats. The first sessions are September 19th at the Wicomico High School Auditorium and West Salisbury Elementary. The second date will be on Thursday, November 21st at Salisbury Middle School and Prince Street Elementary. For more information on these sessions, you can visit CoastTV.com. Coming up in sports, 2 Henlopen soccer squads meeting up. Who rode deep into the playoffs, and find out if Cape or Indian River were victorious.
We're clearing out inventory with big store-wide discounts. Get to Johnny Janosic now and get up to 70% off store-wide, plus no interest for up to 5 years with no down payment and no minimum purchase. For a limited time only at Johnny Janosic.
In 1925, a simple bank ledger began journaling the transactions of life in Willards, Maryland. New houses, barns, and farm equipment. Growing families and businesses both big and small. A record through time of hardship and prosperity. 100 years ago, the founding of the Farmers Bank of Willards was vital to the town. 100 years later, banking has changed, but the Farmers Bank remains steadfast in its original mission, keeping and reinvesting millions of dollars right here for the benefit of our communities.
There's no issue where politicians, Republicans and Democrats, have failed more than immigration. A crisis at the southern border, drugs flooding our communities. We need leaders who reject toxic politics and get stuff done. Larry Hogan knows how to get results. In the Senate, Hogan will be the key independent swing vote to secure our border and fix the broken immigration system. He's a proven leader. Larry Hogan for Maryland.
I'm Larry Hogan, and I approve this message.
Join Club Ocean at Ocean Downs and get $20 free play guaranteed. We ship you not. Then use your card every time you play to earn more rewards. Ocean Downs Casino, where the fun shines.
Ride the wave of Delmarva's vibrant coastal vibes with Coast Life. From hidden gems to sun-kissed trends and captivating local tales. Dive deep and immerse yourself in our coastal rhythm. Catch Coast Life weekdays at 4 on Coast TV.
No strangers here, just friends you've not met yet. With an outside patio and inside charm, Irish Eyes Pub and Restaurant Milton is a local's favorite on the banks of the Broadkill River. Irish Eyes Pub and Restaurant Lewis, gorgeous views, free parking, and the best happy hour at the beach, with room for everyone. And for a truly special event, go no further than the Lewis Room at Irish Eyes. The panoramic views, in-house chef, and professional team will make it easy to plan your next event. Find out more at irisheyespub.com.
Find your better night's sleep for less at Johnny Janosic. Shop now and get this Kingsdown Queen mattress, plush or firm, doorbuster price only $5.99. For a limited time only at Johnny Janosic's Mattress World.
Let's check back in now with Coast TV News anchor Matt Pensick live in Rehoboth Beach covering the next likely person to hold the seat that once was Pete Schwarzkopf's if the seat stays Democratic.
Claire Snyder Hall wins the political back and forth she has had with a man she's attempting to replace in Legislative Hall, Pete Schwarzkopf. It was a convincing win here tonight in the three-way race for Democratic primary, District 14. She told me earlier tonight that she sees herself as part of a new wave of politician in the state. She now turns her attention to the general election in November.
Thank you, Matt. Now let's head back to Coast TV News anchor Charlie Sakaitis covering probably the bitterest of the races, the governor's Democratic primary. Charlie is live in Wilmington where Matt Meyer declared victory.
Turn out the lights, the primary's over, and so is the watch party here for Matt Meyer, though they did have the presence of mind to print these out. This is what they wanted to see as tomorrow's headline: Meyer defeats establishment again. And I got a great anecdote. The guy that printed these out, he actually went all the way to New Jersey to do that. They're a little superstitious. They didn't want anybody to know that these had been printed out ahead of time just in case it didn't go their way. It did, in fact, go their way. So they get to hand all these out today. So for one last time here in Wilmington, I'm Charlie Sakaitis for Coast TV News.
Thank you, Charlie. Turning to health news now. When it comes to tobacco use in youth, there's good news and bad. Recently released survey data shows e-cigarette use has declined in this age group, but there is a growing concern from another form of nicotine that is seeing rising sales. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the concern and what parents can do to help children avoid tobacco.
It's a highly addictive substance that's especially dangerous to young people. Nicotine can be found in all tobacco products.
But it can also harm the developing adolescent brain and also prime the brain for addiction to other drugs. And so it's critically important that youth aren't exposed to these products.
Data from a newly released survey shows a nearly 25% drop in students reporting e-cigarette use the past year. That's about 500,000 fewer youth using the devices, bringing the rate down to the lowest it's been in a decade.
We still have 1.6 million kids who are using these products, but it's still a very important win.
But there's a growing concern about nicotine pouches, which are small and dissolvable and placed between the lip and gum. Experts say sales have been rising since 2016.
We're going to continue to monitor use and also do everything we can to make sure that we do not see any further rises with regard to these products in future years.
To help prevent tobacco use, the American Lung Association says parents should talk to children about the health dangers and the unpleasant physical aspects like bad breath, discolored teeth, and nails. Give them clear, consistent messages about the risks, making them aware of all the products this includes, and set a good example by not smoking or using tobacco in any form. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The American Lung Association says that if you catch a teen using tobacco products, to avoid making threats and ultimatums. Instead, the organization says, find out why your child has chosen to smoke or vape and talk about what changes can be made in their life to help them stop using those products. Heading to business news, tech junkies, are you excited? Apple unveiled the newest iPhone 16 on Monday, as the new phone is expected to cater to rising popularity for AI. According to the company, it will be the first smartphone built for generative AI. Staying in tech news, according to an FBI report, victims reported more than $5.6 billion, that's with a B, in fraud-related cryptocurrency in 2023. That's a 45% increase from losses in 2022. An FBI official said this is the first time the agency has published a report explicitly focused on crypto-related fraud from a larger set of annual fraud data.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
In Henlopen boys soccer, a matchup between last year's state runners-up in Division I Cape and state semifinalists in D2 Indian River. 20 minutes into this game, first half no score, but IR threatening. A beautiful through ball finds Denny Cruz Bonilla, who puts on the brakes, then the gas, and the finish. A stunning sequence from the senior, who says it's time to wrap this up. 1-0 Indian River leads. 12 minutes later, Cape ball and a rocket from way out from Evan Burris. Top Shelf bearing a beauty to tie this game up at 1 apiece at the half. In the second half, same score, Cape looking for the lead, and Brady Spiegel rips from the edge of the box and drills it. The senior gives the Vikings their first advantage of the day, but still plenty of time left in this game. Indian River didn't wait long to respond. A chance down the near side for Leonardo Chester, who feeds it in front, and Dominic Delaney delivers one. He ties the game at 2 with under 21 minutes to play. Under 12 now left in the game, still 2-2. A free kick coming for Cruz Bonilla floats it in, and Chris Alamillo heads it home, giving Indian River a 3-2 lead, and that's all they would need as they improve to 2-1 on the season. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, somewhere to smile about.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. We are professional grade GMC.
The work we do at Delaware Electric Cooperative is driven by one goal: providing our members with the most affordable and reliable power possible. The co-op is committed to maintaining and improving our system through the use of innovative technologies. Our Beat the Peak program helps keep rates affordable when the cost to produce power is highest. Each year, we give back capital credits to our members as a return on their investment in us. At DEC, members matter most. And that's why we keep the lights on.
Join us for the Kickoff to Savings sales event going on right now at Preston Ford. Get $12,000 in savings off MSRP on select 2023 Ford F-150s. Save $9,000 off MSRP on a new 2023 Ford Bronco Badlands. These are just some of the deals. Explore a huge inventory online at PrestonFord.com. With over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot, we're sure to have the perfect vehicle for you. Preston Ford, located at the corner of Route 318 and 331. Remember, cars cost less in Preston.
At the Delmarva Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division like myself in cabinetry to ensure that you have the best product to fit your needs. And your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your project.
It was very important to find somebody that was knowledgeable in the whole picture, the cabinetry, the appliances, and the countertop. We are delighted with the outcome.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
Some breaking news since we've been on the air and after the presidential debate aired. Taylor Swift has announced she is endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm going to read part of her post here today, saying that this happened after she was made aware that AI of her falsely endorsing Donald Trump was posted. She said the simplest way to combat misinformation is simply the truth. Again, Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris in the presidential race. Paul.
All right, quickly, our Ocean City sponsored UV index, a level of 7. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line at 443-880-9100. Sponsored by the law offices of Baird, Mandela's, Brockstedt, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling exclusive 10-day forecast.
Paul, thank you, and thank you for joining us for Coast TV News at 11 this primary election night. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5. Have a great night.